Hey guys, I have this sheet of Strathmore Vision paper, nothing fancy. I just wanted to kind of explore a few types of watercolor brushes, or otherwise. Sometimes I don't use watercolor brushes. Anyway, things that I have tried, just to see if it really matters that much what kind of paintbrushes you use. Alright. Now I'm not going to try to use one of those silly Crayola brushes because nobody likes those. There's no point. Now I'm just pulling out a bunch that I happen to have. This is ruined, as you can see. So this might not be a really great selection here. Oh, here we go. Okay. I also really just don't take very good care of my brushes. Who does, right? Alright, so here's a handful of ones that I just happen to have. Let's just say we can go through a history of brushes that I've tried and what my impression of them is. And I'm going to start with dollar store brushes. This, surprisingly, is a Dollarama brush. This is a Daiso one for ink painting or calligraphy. I think that's kind of it. The thing about dollar store brushes is that they die so quickly, which is why people use them, because artists like me who don't really take the time to clean their brushes or even change their paint water go through paintbrushes like crazy, and so we are always afraid to actually buy nice paintbrushes since it doesn't really matter that much, right? So I got these because these are the only ones that are kind of large. I don't have a huge supply of brushes, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do with these to demonstrate, but I just kind of wanted to go through a history of brushes that I've used. It's not that bad. Very small. They don't hold very much water at all. These are awful. Another quality of dollar store brushes is that the hairs will fall out. You'll notice this if you buy a lot of your materials at the hardware store. Lots of people do that too. They'll buy paintbrushes in the painting section at the hardware store. But this one is intended for ink, so it will hold a lot more water, but as you'll notice, there's hairs just all over the place. This is not too bad, but it's coming out. There's one in the puddle now. There's another one. Maybe it's the same one actually. When I moved on from that, the first one that I really liked is actually these Zen ones. This is a Royal & Langnickel Zen, and for the longest time these were my favorite brushes. And the only downside to them is that they do get messed up kind of quickly. But these are really cheap. Like, they're not dollar store cheap, but they're definitely the lowest priced ones. I think I bought this one for $2. This is like a, what is this? This is like a size 8, I'm sure, or something like that. Looks kind of like an 8. This is a Royal & Langnickel as well. This one is, it's not a Zen, but it absorbs a ridiculous amount of water. So I will use this for backgrounds a lot. Just like a really base coat of something. Another reason why I really like the Zens is because they have a really stiff spring, which is what I'm used to. Some people don't like that, but I really like the springy ones. They tend to hold their shape better so that you can kind of control what's going on better. My favorite one currently is the Princeton Velvet Touch. I really love this brush. I got it again by accident in one of those mystery boxes, and the thing that I love the most about this is that it comes to such a fine point. This one is pretty old and it's more ragged now, but that's the one thing that I love the most about this brush, is that it took probably at least a year to get this ragged. And I find like I use this one 100% of the time because it's so I can do much smaller lines if I wanted to, because I can do so much more with it except large washes. So I just bought a new pack of them online. They're not super cheap. They're like I said, you could buy one from the Art Snacks store for $14. This one I bought as a pack, so each of them was probably more like $10. This was I think this was like a $40 pack total. But this is what I mean. Like, this is the exact same brush that I had. Wow. And I've really used it. And see how pointy it is? Now I have this number 4. It's even tinier. Look how tiny that line is. Instead of switching brushes constantly, I can just use one brush to do everything. I love how this isn't even really a useful video at all. I just wanted to try some brushes and then just, I don't know, share the experience with you, I guess. So this one came recommended by Liron Lekonsky, who I've been drawing inspiration from for a while. And he likes the silver black velvet brushes, so I thought I'd give it a try. These apparently are for silk painting. Weird packaging. These cost more than these, but I don't know if that was intended because they're of their quality, or if it's just because they're harder to find, and so through that, online stores tend to just charge more for products like that, even if it's not worth it. I don't know. In my case, I paid about $50 for a set of 3, which is pretty affordable. Again, it's probably around $15 a brush. And this is the first time I'm using it. I just wanted to share this experience, I guess. I don't know if this is a useful video or anything. I can tell that these are not as springy. They are softer, more like an ink brush or a calligraphy brush. It's very wet, and it definitely feels more like hair than the other ones. The other ones kind of feel a bit more closer to nylon. All are synthetic, I'm pretty sure. This one actually gets pretty pointy too, and yet it's much larger. This must be like a 10. Oh, it's a 12. So, wow. I think it would take me a while to get used to how soft this is. Is this a hair from the brush? I can't tell. Somebody help me. I don't really know how to test brushes other than to just use them for something. Yeah, I'd say that this is at least as good as the other ones. which makes sense because it's the same price point. I wish I had like a really expensive pure sable brush to test out, but it's a little rich for my blood right now. If I get one, I will probably amend this video. So yeah, I guess I don't really know what I was trying to like accomplish with this video, but I thought it might be kind of interesting just to share my personal evolution of paintbrushes over time. It was always kind of a fussy question that I'd get a lot. It's not something that I ever really thought about, and it's not something that I ever really cared about, especially in the beginning when I was just using dollar store brushes. It's like, because I never really thought that it mattered, and for the most part it doesn't matter what brush you're using as long as you like it, and as long as it does what you want it to do. If you're getting really frustrated, if it's dropping hairs, if it's too soft and you can't control it, and for me personally, I find it hard to believe that I would find something between Velvet Touch and a legitimate, you know, $40 squirrel brush. I don't really have any context as to how a paintbrush could get better, because this one's really good. Like, I just really like it. And these silver black velvet ones seem kind of nice too. Oh, I am a fool. La da da. God, this whole time I had a legitimate Kolinsky Sable paintbrush from Princeton round 4. What is this life? You guys, wow, you guys must be thinking like, man, what an asshole. Who is this person who like just has this $30 paintbrush just lying around, doesn't realize it, never uses it? Yes, I am a fool. I even remember being angry at an Art Snacks box for sending me a $30 paintbrush, because I was like, I could have gotten so much more in this box if they didn't spend it all on a paintbrush. And I literally just never use this brush because it's not for me. It doesn't have a it doesn't have a fine point to it. So it doesn't do the thing that I need, which is be versatile from task to task. This is the smallest line I can get from it. And it is nice, but I also don't really notice a huge difference between this and the synthetic Princeton ones that I'm using. So yeah, either the synthetic ones are getting very good, or the Sable ones are overhyped maybe. I don't know. What do you think? I personally don't like the idea of buying a paintbrush that is made from wild weasels, especially if you can get synthetic ones that function as good as this particular one. At least I can't speak for much larger brushes or different brands of Sable brushes. Maybe there's another brand that you use, like these Zen ones that are like $2 a brush that you use, that are particularly good and you think everyone should try out. Let us know in the comments. Everyone has their own opinions on it, and this would be a fun place to have a conversation about that, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.